Have you ever felt that invisible wall go up when you walk into a room? The sudden shift in conversation, the subtle break in eye contact, the unspoken sense that you are an unpredictable variable in their social equation. This isn't a failure on your part, it's a reaction to a power they cannot comprehend. It is the natural consequence of walking a path they dare not tread. Welcome, gentlemen, to the Sigma male community. This channel is not for the faint of heart or for those who seek the comfort of the herd. It is a forge for the independent, a sanctuary for the self-reliant, and a guide for men who embody the unshakable principles of stoic strength and a sovereign mindset. Today we delve into the very essence of what makes the Sigma male a formidable and often intimidating presence. We will dissect the traits that create distance, not as a flaw to be corrected, but as a powerful testament to an uncompromising nature. These are the qualities that cause other men, those who thrive on conformity and external validation, to keep their distance. 1. The uncontrolled element resisting control. Forget leashes and collars. The very concept is foreign to the Sigma's nature. He operates on a sophisticated system of pure internal navigation, guided by a compass calibrated to his own principles and purpose. External agendas, hierarchical pressure from insecure leaders, and the subtle or overt attempts at manipulation that govern most social interactions simply slide off him like water off a stone. This isn't an act of petulant rebellion or a childish need to defy. It is the quiet, unyielding expression of his innate sovereignty. His path is his alone, a trajectory dictated by an internal logic that is completely immune to outside interference or the need for external validation. This profound unpredictability and his inherent refusal to seek permission for his own thoughts and actions isn't a declaration of war. It is simply his natural state of existence, a silent statement of self-ownership that chills those who need to command, to categorize, or to conform. This utter lack of external levers makes him an anomaly in a world built on them. Men who rely on social pressure, emotional leverage, or positional authority find themselves utterly disarmed in his presence. They reach for a handle and find only smooth, unyielding steel. The Sigma moves through the control structures of corporate ladders and social cliques like a ghost, his presence felt but his movements impossible to predict or direct. This leaves those who depend on these structures for their own sense of power feeling unervingly helpless, as if they are trying to grasp smoke. Their frustration is not the Sigma's concern, for he is not playing their game. He is busy executing the grand strategy of his own life, a game in which he is the only player who truly understands the rules because he is the one who wrote them. 2. The quiet storm, emotional resilience. When chaos erupts and pressure mounts, the world divides into two camps, those who fray and those who focus. While others are swept away by the torrent of panic and reactivity, the Sigma finds his center, becoming the calm eye of the hurricane. This is not the cold, unfeeling suppression of emotion that weaker men mistake for strength. It is a profound and practiced form of emotional mastery. He weathers the inevitable setbacks and storms of life not by denying their existence, but by understanding their currents, respecting their power, and anchoring himself deep within his own resilient core. He has learned through introspection and trial that the only true harm comes from a disordered inner world, not from external events. This mindset transforms potential tragedies into invaluable lessons and personal failures into the raw material for future success. This unshakable internal foundation radiates a palpable sense of calm competence, making him a lighthouse in the fog of a crisis. People are naturally drawn to this stability, yet it is also deeply intimidating to those who wear their emotional fragility as a badge of honor or who are addicted to the drama of their own turbulence. The Sigma's resilience is a quiet, immense power that, by its very existence, makes the performative emotionality of others seem like a profound weakness. His composure is a silent judgment on their lack of self-control, a mirror reflecting a chaotic inner world they would rather ignore. This is why they keep their distance. His peace disrupts their noise. 3. Truth's razor edge, speaking directly. We live in a world drowning in a sea of sugar-coated lies, diplomatic evasions, and the kind of pleasant fluff designed to avoid friction at all costs. In this environment, the Sigma wields clarity like a master surgeon's scalpel. He has no time or tolerance for the ambiguity that most people use as a shield. He cuts directly to the core of an issue with a precision that can be both breathtaking and brutal. His words are not intended to wound but to illuminate, They are tools for scraping away the grime of deceit and misunderstanding to reveal the truth beneath, even when that truth is uncomfortable or inconvenient for others to face. This radical candor is a powerful force that instantly dispels illusions and cuts through the fog of social posturing. This commitment to directness builds a foundation of unshakable trust with those who are strong enough to handle it, but it leaves those addicted to ambiguity or the comfort of a false harmony feeling stripped bare and exposed. They perceive his honesty as aggression because it forces them to confront a reality they have been actively avoiding. His directness is not an attack. It is a fundamental refusal to participate in the social charade. He will not waste his breath or your time by dancing around a subject. By speaking the unfiltered truth, he forces everyone in his presence to engage with the world as it is, not as they wish it to be, and for many that raw, unvarnished reality is a terrifying place to be. 4. The architect of outcomes, predicting outcomes. To the uninitiated, it can seem like a form of foresight, perhaps even a touch of mysticism. The Sigma's ability to anticipate the flow of events can be uncanny. But this is not magic. It is the product of a finely tuned cognitive engine fueled by hyper-observant pattern recognition and a deep, intuitive understanding of human nature. While others are distracted by the surface-level noise and the immediate drama of a situation, the Sigma is reading the subtle undercurrents. He sees the flicker of doubt in a man's eyes, he hears the unspoken agenda behind a corporate proposal, and he traces the logical conclusion of a flawed plan as it unfolds in his mind's eye. He connects the invisible dots that others miss, allowing him to anticipate moves and consequences long before they materialize. When he articulates these predictions, it is not an act of boasting or a display of intellectual superiority. He is simply stating the obvious trajectory that his analysis has revealed. This has a deeply unnerving effect on those around him, especially those who operate on short-term thinking or emotional impulses. They feel as though they are perpetually one step behind, constantly being outmaneuvered in a game they didn't even realize they were playing. The Sigma is not just playing chess. He is analyzing the psychology of his opponent, the structural integrity of the board, and the atmospheric conditions of the room. This multi-layered perception leaves others feeling transparent and predictable, a profoundly uncomfortable sensation that causes them to retreat rather than engage. 5. The depth charge, thinking deeply. Forget the shallow waters of surface-level chatter and fleeting gossip. The Sigma's mind is a vessel designed for the abyss. He doesn't just skim information. He plunges into it, dissecting its components, challenging its foundational assumptions, and synthesizing it with his existing knowledge to form a more complete, more nuanced understanding. His intelligence isn't measured by loud credentials or academic accolades, though he may have them. It is a relentless, analytical engine that constantly runs in the background, merging hard-won street smarts with profound philosophical insight. He is not interested in what people are talking about, but why they are talking about it, and what unexamined beliefs that conversation reveals. Engaging with him in conversation, therefore, often becomes an intellectual expedition into uncharted territory. He will bypass the trivial and probe the fundamental, leaving small talk far behind. This intellectual depth acts as a natural filter. It compels others to either rise to a level of engagement they may find uncomfortable and unfamiliar, or to retreat back to the safety of the shallows, feeling intellectually outmatched. The Sigma isn't trying to intellectually dominate anyone. It is the very wavelength of his thought process that demands a depth and rigor that most find daunting to sustain. His presence silently asks, "Are you willing to think or do you just want to talk?" For many, the answer necessitates a respectful distance. That familiar sting of isolation? It's not just you. You watching this right now, navigating the world with this intensity, the directness, the depth, the refusal to play the game, it creates distance. It's the cost of that fierce independence you embody. For the Sigmas here, recognize this distance isn't failure. It's the natural friction of authenticity moving against conformity. Your very presence disrupts the comfortable illusions others cling to. For those observing, feeling challenged, understand this isn't hostility. It's a different operating system, one that values truth and autonomy above all else. The space around a Sigma isn't emptiness. It's the gravitational field of an uncompromising self. 6. The status blind spot, ignoring status. In a world obsessed with social ladders, job titles, and the corner office, the Sigma possesses a unique and powerful form of blindness. He is utterly indifferent to the trappings of status. To him, the intricate pecking orders and hierarchies that define most social and corporate environments are nothing more than meaningless noise, a distraction from what truly matters: character, competence, and integrity. He will interact with the CEO and the janitor using the exact same tone of unwavering authenticity, judging them not by their position, but by the content of their words and the consistency of their actions. He does not look up to those in power for validation, nor does he look down on those without it. His purpose comes from within, not from a place on an organizational chart. This radical indifference to the entire game of status is profoundly destabilizing to environments built upon it. It short-circuits the systems of deference and bootlicking that keep the machine running. The Sigma will unflinchingly challenge a flawed plan from senior leadership or passionately champion a brilliant idea from a junior intern with equal conviction, motivated solely by the pursuit of truth and effectiveness, not by a desire to curry favor. To those who have invested their entire identity in climbing that ladder, this leveling of the playing field feels like a form of anarchy. His refusal to acknowledge their hard-won status makes him an unpredictable and deeply unsettling force, one they would rather avoid than have to justify themselves to. 7. The unassailable core, personal accountability. The modern world has perfected the art of blame shifting. Excuses are a form of currency, and pointing fingers is a common defense mechanism. These concepts are not just foreign to the Sigma's vocabulary, they are antithetical to his entire philosophy of life. He owns his actions, his decisions, his successes, and most especially his failures with an unwavering sense of responsibility. This is not a form of martyrdom or self-flagellation. It is the ultimate expression of personal sovereignty. He understands that to be truly free, one must be the sole author of their own life, and that means taking absolute ownership of every word in every chapter, including the errors. He stands firm in his choices, seeing missteps not as reasons for deflection, but as opportunities for learning and recalibration. This profound integrity builds a foundation of immense trust with those who value strength, but it creates intense, palpable discomfort for those who habitually hide behind circumstance or shift blame to others. The Sigma's accountability acts as a giant, unflattering mirror, forcing those around him to confront their own evasions and lack of ownership. His quiet refusal to make excuses is a silent indictment of their own weakness. It's a quiet strength that makes their constant avoidance look pathetic in comparison. They keep their distance because his integrity shines a light on their lack of it. 8. The boundary fortress, setting boundaries. The Sigma understands a fundamental truth that many never grasp. His time, his focus, and his mental and emotional energy are his most sacred and finite resources. He treats these resources not as commodities to be freely given away, but as the sacred ground of his inner citadel, and he demarcates its borders clearly and decisively. His no is not the beginning of a negotiation. It is a final, calm declaration that serves to protect his peace and his purpose. He has an almost allergic reaction to energy drains, and his defenses against them are swift and effective. Toxic people, unreasonable demands, emotional vampires, and pointless drama all meet an immovable, unbreachable wall. This assertiveness, typically delivered calmly and without anger, commands a deep level of respect from those who understand its necessity, but it profoundly unnerves those who are accustomed to overstepping, manipulating, or guilting others into compliance. They are used to boundaries being flexible, permeable things that can be eroded with enough pressure. The Sigma's boundaries are non-negotiable, made of reinforced steel. His clear lines serve as a stark reminder that access to his world, his time, and his attention is a privilege, not a right. This makes the entitled, the needy, and the manipulative feel startlingly unwelcome, forcing them to seek easier targets. 9. The self-sufficient engine, valuing independence. Independence is not just a preference for the Sigma. It is his lifeblood, the very oxygen his soul breathes. He thrives on autonomy, the freedom to choose, the power to act, and the ability to define his own metrics for success, often entirely alone. He is an architect and a pioneer by nature, constitutionally incapable of simply following trails that have been blazed by others. He must forge his own path, even if it is through the most difficult and unforgiving terrain. The siren songs of groupthink, collective validation, and the safety of the crowd are like crutches he discarded long ago, having learned that they only impede his journey. This fierce, unwavering self-reliance empowers him to take decisive action and maintain his authenticity even when, and especially when, it means walking a path utterly alone. From an external perspective, this quality is often admired and seen as inspiring, but on a deeper, more personal level, it is deeply intimidating to those who lack the inner resources, the courage, or the sheer willpower to stand apart from the crowd. The Sigma's profound independence is a silent declaration of his own wholeness, a completeness that inadvertently highlights the codependence and need for external approval that drives so many other men. His ability to thrive in solitude makes their fear of it all the more apparent. 10. The Norm-Shatterer, challenging conventional norms. The sentence, "because it's always been done this way," is not a valid reason for the Sigma, it is a call to action. It is a red flag that signals the presence of an unexamined assumption, a tradition that has likely outlived its usefulness. He instinctively questions, probes, and, if necessary, dismantles the unquestioned traditions and societal scripts that dictate the lives of the masses. He does this not for the cheap thrill of rebellion, but as part of a relentless and sincere pursuit of deeper truth, greater efficiency, and a more authentic way of living. He sees conventional norms not as sacred rules, but as beta-tested software that is often buggy and in desperate need of an update. His unique perspectives and unconventional solutions act as a disruptive force against the comfortable hum of conformity. This makes him a powerful catalyst for progress and innovation, but it also paints a target on his back for those who are deeply invested in maintaining the status quo. The guardians of the old order see him as a threat, a rogue element that destabilizes their predictable world. The Sigma doesn't just color outside the lines. He questions the very existence of the lines and often ends up redrawing the entire page. This forces everyone else to reconsider the picture they had taken for granted, a mentally taxing exercise that many would rather avoid. 11. The authenticity anchor, pursuing authenticity. In the grand masquerade ball of modern society, where most people curate a collection of personas for different occasions, the Sigma refuses to wear a mask. His commitment to being genuinely, unapologetically, and consistently himself is absolute and non-negotiable. It is the anchor that holds him steady in the turbulent seas of social expectation. Every word he speaks, every action he takes, and every relationship he chooses to engage in is filtered through this core value of uncompromising authenticity. As a result, superficiality, pretense, and disingenuous behavior simply wither and die in his presence, starved of the validation they need to survive. This unwavering realness fosters a profound sense of trust and loyalty with the few who are also committed to living an authentic life. However, it creates intense discomfort for the vast majority who are hiding behind carefully constructed facades or playing roles they believe will grant them social acceptance. The Sigma's authenticity acts like a powerful high-intensity spotlight, exposing the cracks in their masks and the inauthenticity of their actions. It doesn't judge them, but its clarity is so stark that it forces them to either confront their own charade and shed their masks, or retreat from the glare of such uncompromising and powerful truth. So we return to the central question: why do other guys keep their distance? It's not out of hatred or disdain. It is a reaction born of confusion, intimidation, and a quiet, grudging respect. The distance is a buffer zone created by their own inability to categorize, control, or comprehend the man who operates on a different frequency. The traits we've discussed today are not social liabilities, they are hallmarks of a sovereign mind and a self-mastered spirit. The deterrence is a filter, a natural defense mechanism that repels the superficial, the manipulative, and the weak-willed, leaving space for the few who can appreciate the depth and integrity of the Sigma path. Look at the space around you in your own life. See it not as rejection, but as the gravitational field created by your own internal substance. It is the respect that power commands. If this message resonated with the path you walk, then we want to hear from you. Share your own experiences with these traits in the comments below. Let us know which one defines your journey the most. If this video provided value, do not keep it to yourself. Share it, as it may be the very validation another man on this solitary path needs to hear. And if you have not yet joined our ranks, subscribe to the Sigma Male community and, crucially, ring that notification bell. We are your trusted source for the unvarnished truth, and by turning on notifications, you ensure you never miss the guidance you need to continue forging your own way. Stay sovereign. Stay true. And never apologize for the space your integrity commands.